Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Iran are the latest Muslim-majority countries to condemn the Taliban's decision banning university education for women. And a similar response came from the United Nations, calling on authorities to immediately revoke it. Pashtana Durrani is a visiting fellow at the Wellesley Centers for Women and founder and executive director of LEARN Afghanistan. She says global condemnation alone is just not enough.
When they condemned the schools closing for secondary education or the high school education, when they condemned women not going to the parks and condemning that as a decree, or condemning women not being able to travel without a chaperone. So I do think that condemnation is more hollow words, but also at the same time, it gives them this security, this false sense of security that if we condemn it, we have done enough on our end, you know? That's what we think.
So what should the international community be doing?
I think let's start with the Muslim majority countries that you just talked about. Maybe they should be the first ones talking to the Taliban, given that they were the ones who were supporting them openly and calling them Muslim brothers and supporting their unjust jihad towards Afghan people in general. The second thing I think would be asking Qatar and Pakistan to stop giving the families of Taliban houses and money and protection and security, financial and in person, because their families, their daughters get to go to schools, but the women of Afghanistan, the girls of Afghanistan don't get to go to school. So maybe the Muslim majority countries should be doing that. Now coming to the Western countries, the first thing I think is they're done with Afghanistan. They have a new project called Ukraine, and they're all focusing on that. But at the same time, this mess is created by the US, and all these European countries have supported the US in this mess. When the U.S. negotiating in Qatar with the Taliban, nobody stopped them. Nobody asked about human rights abuses. So the best thing I think right now would be for the U.S. to, apart from condemning them, maybe start sanctioning the Taliban for a change. Maybe sanction them from traveling, sanction their bank accounts, sanction their families. You know, they should have the taste of what they are doing to the Afghan people right now, because Afghans are.
Pashtana, sanctions are already in place, but I think some of the concern is the humanitarian situation in Afghanistan, a country that's also is facing dire economic problems.
No, I don't think the right sanctions are in place. You cannot just go sanction a whole country and say, oh, we have done our part. I'm not saying sanction Afghanistan. They should be lifting sanctions on Afghanistan. They should be sanctioning Taliban, people who get to travel freely, people who are on private jets all the time. I'm talking about those people, and I'm talking about Taliban's family in Qatar and Pakistan. They should be sanctioned. Their bank accounts needs to be sanctioned. That's where you should be hitting them where it hurts rather than sanctioning the whole country, you know?
Let me talk about what life is like for the girls and women of Afghanistan. So many restrictions. We're talking about parks, gyms, secondary school education, now university education. They can't go anywhere without a male escort. And there's so little hope. And I think the problem is when you run out of hope, when there is despair, you have nothing left. Talk to me about what you're hearing when you have these conversations with your friends, family who are still back in Afghanistan, the women.
I think I have to give a lot of credit when it comes to Afghan women, because even in today's situation that there are these women who are being barred from universities, girls who have been barred from schools, women are still coming out. People are still trying to get that solution in place. For people who have been out of Afghanistan, I think for people like us, we keep on getting hopeless more by the day. If 1 year ago you would have asked me, I would be like, yes, we will fight them, whatever. Now I'm getting more hopeless by the minute, because I know what the world leaders are doing. I know what the international community is doing, and I know that nobody is there to build Afghanistan. Everyone is there to have their own opportunity.